first preseason game in the books, and it was a wild, wild game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The way this game started off, I mean, it could not get any worse from the way this game started. I
Oh,
mean,
oh. Was on terrific. I'm finessing in that kitchen, dead Fisher. Dope yellow collar, something like or Indiana Pacers of Reggie Miller. I'm in that bit like a man.
I mean, when you look at how the Saints just came out from the first play of the game, I mean, take the return back, a 90+ yard return, and it just seemed like from the first quarter and maybe the first half of this game that the Jaguars had no chance of even coming back. I mean, sloppy, penalties. I mean, just the offensive line, no protection. I mean, it was looking real bad. The only bright spot about this team early on was the defense, and I have to tip my hat to Anthony Campanelli because he had that defense had those guys early on. Where this score to this game could have been a lot worse than what it was from how it started off. So taking you through the whole game, man, I thought that then the Jaguars played well. They came from behind. They showed a lot of resilience, a lot of the young guys, and it's a lot of stuff that Liam Cohen can go back and really evaluate about this team based on this game, even the preseason. So the good news is about this game was that none of the starters played. If you didn't watch it, so none of the starters played in the game. So it was a bunch of the backups, but we got a lot to see and a lot of information to take with from this game because we can see early on that I think what a lot of people watching this game at the quarterback position at the QB2, who we're gonna have because at times watching this game, man, it just seemed like Carter Bradley nor did Nick Mullen look like they were the answer if something happened to Trevor Lawrence, man. Both of these guys threw two horrific interceptions, both in the red zone. It did not look good with either of these guys, the interceptions that they threw. The one Carter Bradley threw, it was like triple coverage. It looked bad. The interception that Nick Mullen threw, he seemed like he didn't get enough air up underneath the ball, but he tried everything he could to do it. But it was bad. And so, looking at the way those two guys played, I gotta look at it and say it like this right here, man. That we gotta figure this quarterback two thing out, man. Because right now, man, I tell you right now, it did not look good. It did not look good at all. And I just hope that the next game we see with these guys that they be a little bit better than what they were than what we saw tonight. But I tip my hat to Carter Bradley early on. He was able to play a little bit well more throughout the game because he did play a little bit longer than Nick Mullen. He played a little bit extended longer, and he was able to get them back into the game. But I would tell you this, it still needs some work that need to be improved when it comes to Carter Bradley because I think that it could be a cause of concern. But I will say is Joey Aguilar, he played well in the little time he did play coming in the fourth quarter, coming in the in-game situation, putting it on his back and able to take the lead. I thought that was real good for him. But I got to see more from him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he start next game and see how he looked early on because the other two, he came in once like the teams had pretty much already settled in and, offensive line, he didn't have to worry about any of the penalties and things like that. So I would like to see Joey Aguilar next game, maybe starting off early on and see how he plays. Now I don't know what's going to be the situation next game, if the starter's going to play or not, if they're going to play a series. I'm assuming they probably will, but we'll see. But I thought we got to see a little bit of the quarterback position and be able to see about how we move forward with who's going to be QB2. This competition is still tight, but if I had to pick somebody that probably got a slight edge tonight in the quarterback room for the Jaguars, I probably would say Carter Bradley, just slightly, because I say he still has some work to be done, but I would say Carter Bradley probably had the slight advantage. But I did like what Joey Aguilar did. tonight in a small sample size, but you know, it's more out there. This quarterback room is still 2 more games. Let's see how it looks. The next thing that we can talk about is the running backs. Running backs, I thought played very well, and I think this competition, between DJ Dallas and Jameer Thomas, you know, that was like a real tight battle because both of these running backs ran hard tonight. They both made key impact in the running game, and I think when you look at both of those players, I think this is a tight race as well, man. I don't think there's a leg up. We'll see how Tu and Rodriguez and these other guys look once they look at preseason action to see if there's a real big difference in how these guys are. But as of right now, I couldn't tell you which one of the two, if these guys, I'm sorry about that, um, could separate, far as in the depth chart and how they are getting evaluated. But I think the biggest concern with the Jacksonville Jaguars that I saw tonight was the offensive line issues, the lineman issues, the false starts, and not getting lined up properly, communication. I thought that was a real big thing tonight, and I think that has to be a cause of concern if you're a Jacksonville Jaguar fan because it can't be like that, when it's the start of the regular season. Now, granted, we know that none of the starters play, and there's nothing to be too worried about and things like that. But we can't right now. A thing that I thought the Jacksonville Jaguars was really good on was depth at the offensive line and depth at other positions. And it seems like right now in the offensive line right now is room that we do not have a lot of depth. And so we got to figure something out with this offensive line because tonight they struggled on. Now late in the game they did play a lot better in the second half, but the offensive line, man, it was bad early on in this game, man. Protection and you could just tell. But I thought overall, man, if I had to give an assessment of the Jacksonville Jaguars in the offense tonight, I probably would give it probably like a C minus C at best. Early because of the communication issues, the penalties, something that that we struggled with last year, and it continues this year, and we have to clean that up. And then just offensive line not being able to protect the quarterback. It was bad. And so I think early with the skill positions, I thought they played well. In particular, guys like Josh Cameron, I like him that they had him on special teams. Big guy, think he can definitely be used in the red zone. I like what I saw with him tonight, as well as Pena, a guy made a drop but came back, got the touchdown, redeemed himself. Uh, C.J. Williams made a play. He did have a drop tonight too as well, but I thought he played well. And I think in the wide receiver room, man, it's gonna be a lot of competition in that room as well. But we already know our four horsemen are, which is Parker Washington, Travis Hunter, uh, Jacoby Myers, and what's the other guy? And Brian Thomas Jr. So I know those guys, but can some of these young guys rise up to the occasion? I think the Jacksonville Jaguars is drafted very well again in the wide receiver room. So, but I thought, if as a skill position standpoint, I would give, if I had to give a letter grade for the skill position alone tonight, I'm going to give it a solid B outside of the two drops. You can only do what the quarterback can do, protection, things like that. I thought they made some plays and, they played well. But overall, offensively, collectively, I'm going to give them a C at best. C minus at the worst. So let's segue into the special teams, man. Now, special teams tonight, oh my God, you can't open up a game like that, giving up a big play on the kickoff return. You give the momentum to the offense to that team right away, and I thought it kind of led to why this game started so bad in a sense because of how they came out. You know what I'm saying with that, and I think when you look at that in totality, it's like that kind of led to the early on coming out the way he did. But Cam Little did his thing, get some field goals, get points on the board when needed. and I thought he played well. But I think overall, when you just looking at just like, um, you know, the special teams tonight, you just that was the head scratcher right there. Then it was a momentum thing, and I think Liam Cohen definitely gonna look at that. It just wasn't a way to set the tone for the start of the game. Um, so defensively, I thought defensively tonight they played well. Campanelli tonight, he deserves a plus in the way that this defense played tonight. You know, the way early on with this team, the way they was playing, the offensively not getting anything done. Campanelli, those guys were playing real hard and they kept it close. And I think that's a testament now that with one thing on the defensive side of the ball, that this team is going to have a lot of depth. That it's going to be a lot of depth at the defensive line spot. I thought they played absolutely well tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because they was kind of dominating at times. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at how they came out early on, where the Jaguars offense was struggling to get anything done, they made a bunch of stops when was needed, man. And I just thought that was real key to this to the victory of this game tonight was the defense, man. I mean, they kept it in this game well in advance, even when the Saints were making runs, getting first downs, getting the momentum on the offensive end. They was able to shut these guys down, man. And I think you got to tip your hat. And on every level tonight, they made plays. A guy that probably stood out tonight on the defensive end was Jabari Muhammad. That kid was special, and I think that he's going to be a great piece on this team, especially on the special teams or something like that. And he could probably play a key role defensively this year as well if one of our corners go down, because he showed a lot of resilience, a lot of gut. Had some bad call on some penalty things like that. He didn't get down on himself, and he just kept it going. And in the end of the game, he made the play to win the game. So Jabari Taylor, another kid that I thought, did his thing, and again, showed a lot of grit and toughness. And I think it's gonna make he's gonna make some hard decisions on his for his defensive staff on keeping this kid. But again, he continued to do his thing. He's shining, and he had a hell of a game tonight. Also, man, on the defensive front line, man, I think everybody put a little mark on their stamp on this game. Guys like Albert Regis, he got a sack tonight. We seen he showed his potential. Guys like Jack Duffrey, he was making impact. Everybody on for the defensive line, Scrangrau, I can pronounce his name right. He made a sack. I mean, this defensive front seven, they showed that they can play now, and they very well comfortable in Anthony Kennelly's system in year 2, and you can see the scribe. And I think early on, and I've been saying this all throughout training camp, that this defense has been setting the tone for this team, man. And I think right now they're gonna be the ones who are gonna have to set the tone, man, early on, man, because they haven't missed a beat. And I think they want to build on, especially what they did from last year with all their pieces. Now, granted, the Jaguars offense do want to do it as well, but I think, of the units, I think the defense is just a little bit a little more step in their advancement and what they want to do than the offense right now. And there's nothing wrong with that, man, but I was very impressed in what the defense did tonight on the back end. Now, there was some laps and coverages that, that need to be addressed, and I think you can work through that, and I think you're not going to always win your battles. But when you look at it collectively as a group, what this defense did, in the first half, only really giving up two big plays, the touchdown, which you really think about the first touchdown, it was set up by the punt return. So, and then if you look at the other touchdown you gave up after a turnover short field. So, I mean, when you look at in the grand scheme of those things, the defense would have played well. If those two things don't happen, I don't think you give up those plays. But they were on the field a lot in the first half of this game. So, and to say that what they did in the second half and what the offense was able to do the second half, I thought the defense played well. And if I had to give a letter grade to the defense, coaching Anthony Kennelly, he gets an A defensively. As far as the players, I'm going to give them a B plus. You know, just saying that because, like I said again, if you watch this game in the replay, you know, the Jaguars defense kept them in early on, man. If it wasn't for the early stops, critical stops early in that game, like I said, this score going into the first half could have been easy 28, you know, something like that, or that range, 6 or even worse. So that's why I give the defense the tap, the nod for that. Um, but I thought, you know, it was a lot of stuff to be valued watching this game tonight. Uh, in key battles, linebackers, you had guys out like Combs playing, and they was out here trying to battle, get to see what it's gonna be. Um, and I think that's gonna be a lot close right now. I thought the linebacker room played very well as too. They made plays, made stops, they made their keys. I can't really say in the linebacker room as well between Combs, Ventura, Miller, if it's really a bit separation, but we'll see in game 2 and with this next practice, you know, joint practice, how these guys look, and let's see if they play in the game this upcoming week, man. But no, I just want to come on real quick, give my thoughts of the game, and let you and give your thoughts. But before I end this, I want to give my players of the game, man. I thought for each side of the ball. So on the offensive side of the ball, man, I'm going to give my player of the game to, and I might be being a little bit of bias here. I'm going to give it to DJ Dallas, man. I thought him and Jameer Taylor both played very well tonight. I'll give it to DJ Dallas just in critical moments. He made some key runs to kind of get the game going and to take the lead. So, and he was a part. So I'm going to give it to DJ Dallas tonight as the key player on the offensive side of the ball. And then on the defense side of the ball, I'm going to give it to cornerback Jabari Muhammad. I think he was a guy that was the key guy tonight that really stood out on the defense side of the ball. And there was other guys as well that made plays too on both ends, like I said. But those are the two guys I had to pick watching this game tonight that stood out would be those two on both prospective sides of the ball, man. And so with that being said, I'm going to end this live stream, man. And you guys want to thank for the guys for tuning in to the live stream. I know it's intro prompt too, man, but I just want to get on, talk my shit, talk what my thoughts is after the game, man. It's your boy Joe. Continue to support the movement. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.